Welcome to It Is Always Now with Marty Long. Get ready to open up and let true joy into your life. Join Marty for conversations about inclusivity and respect, the importance of curiosity, and making change happen. Your journey of exploration and discovery into the greater world around us begins now. Here's Marty.
Greetings. My name is Marty Long. My goal is to encourage you to awaken your curiosity. Curiosity is what keeps us seeking and finding truth and lasting joy. Today's topic, 5 lessons I have learned on the Greenbelt. You know, that place where you can walk, run, ride your bike. And by learned, I mean these lessons have become more clear to me. So let's start with 2 of our must-have key words and see what Webster has to say about them. First word, focus. A state or condition permitting clear perception or understanding. Now, is it just me? That sounds pretty much like the whole purpose of meditation. And we know how important meditation is, so anything we can do to make time for meditation is time well spent. And if we can create more time by combining it with another important activity like, say, exercise, even better. Next word, mindfulness. And I have to take a deep breath here because Webster gives us a rather lengthy definition. The practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state or heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. Okay, that's a lot to take in and an extremely lofty goal. I find I can come closer to this lofty goal if I'm not stressed out. Exercise and meditation both help me to relax, allow me to be more open, more positive. So that is why I'm joining them together as I walk on the Greenbelt. Now, here I'm going to share some of these life lessons that have become more clear to me. Life lesson 1, have a plan. Now, I do consider myself fortunate to live here in Kingwood. I have been told there are 70 miles, that's 70 miles, of Greenbelt paths throughout the area. Well-maintained, bordered with trees and other foliage that makes you feel embraced by nature. Personally, I make use of about 6 miles of these 70 miles. I do not jog or walk particularly fast. I feel I can absorb so much more that way. And, okay, I'm also rather lazy. But there's another reason for only using 6 miles. While walking, I want to be able to walk on autopilot. This allows me to focus more on meditation. AKA, I do not want to have to worry about getting lost, which one can easily do on these trails. When I first moved to this part of Kingwood, it once took me a whole hour to get back home once I even realized how lost I was. So I have memorized these routes linked to the different lengths of time that I may want to walk on any particular occasion. I pick that one, let it run in the background in my mind, and then I start out and focus more on my meditation. And of course, you could do this if you're running or if you're riding a bike or walking fast, whatever works for you. Now, having a plan, of course, is always a good idea. Often our plans do not turn out the way we envision, but at least we have a starting place, something that gives us a sense of control. And of course, having plans A, B, C, and even a bailout plan is not a bad thing either. I have a quote here about planning, and I'm going to try to say the name of the person that wrote this, and I'm sure I won't do a very good job, but here we go. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And his very simple definition, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Life lesson 2, finding a balance. Even when having this plan that allows me to walk on autopilot, I still have to remain alert. I still have to maintain a balance between my physical movement and my meditation. So if I'm listening to meditation material on my iPhone, I only put in one earpod so I can hear other dangers, like a bike coming up behind me or a potentially aggressive dog pulling on his leash. Now, bikes are allowed. They're supposed to ring a bell or call out if they come up behind you. Most do, some do not. So I need to be able to hear if they're coming. Dogs are supposed to be on a leash. Many are. Some dogs that aren't on a leash are obviously harmless. They just want to sniff everything and have a nice day. I did have one encounter where this was not the case. The dog did not look friendly. I stopped, looked the dog in the eyes, while admonishing the owner to please get that leash, which was in his hand, back on the dog. You know, life is about balancing in so many ways. We have to balance work and family. We have to balance our needs with the needs of those who rely on us. We have to find a balance between our life duties and our meditations. Even when things are going well, we need to stay alert. I have two quotes about balance. The first one from Jane Kingsford, not sure who she is, but I like what she says. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. I like that. Kind of like my finding a way to have a more balanced life by combining two activities. My other quote is from, of all people, Albert Einstein. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. I think I like that one especially because I can visualize it. I can see me now wobbling on the bicycle and falling over. Life lesson 3. Don't worry, with worry in quotes. Now, I have a friend that says she just looks down at her feet so she won't fall. For me, I feel I have to look a little bit ahead so I can spot a potential hazard in time to prepare for it. We are admonished to live in the moment. We're told not to worry about tomorrow, but we must still be aware of what is or could be coming and making some plans for that. In my book, Meditations, It Is Always Now, I make a distinction between worry and planning. Worry prevents you from thinking clearly. It saps your energy and motivation. Frankly, it's destructive to your soul. We all worry, some more than others, but exercise and meditation are two of the best ways to thwart worry, to keep it at bay. Here's a quote from Emma Bombeck. Worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it never gets you anywhere. I don't know if she meant that to rhyme, but it kind of does. Life lesson 4. Watch for moments when you can look up. Most of the time while on the greenbelt, I look straight ahead so I can spot these potential unexpected harms and avoid them. But there are times when I see the path is straight for quite a bit of distance ahead of me. I don't see anyone else there, no potential obstacles. And then I can look up. I can see trees swaying in the wind. I am more aware of birds singing. I see squirrels scampering here and there. So many squirrels. For those few moments, I feel even more connected to nature and to the eternal. No matter how busy you are, look for moments when you can look up. Maybe that means looking out of the window for a moment while you're working. Maybe it means call a friend and have a quick chat. Perhaps reading a chapter in a book that you're trying to read before everyone gets home. I found a quote by, again, of all people, Leonardo da Vinci, and what he has to say about looking up. Once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will be forever looking up. Once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will forever look up. That reminds me of an app I have on my phone, the Skyview app. With this app, you can look at constellations, satellites, planets, anytime, day or night. Focus it wherever you want to, through the ceiling, through the floor. It's like you can see what's going on the whole world around you. Now, of course, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. They use GPS and stored images, but I find it very peaceful. I find it one of the things that just makes me feel good to do. The other day, I was talking to someone about motivating children and how they're all different. When my daughter was growing up and I needed to get her attention, if I were to tell her that she wouldn't get her allowance for 2 weeks, she wouldn't bat an eye, let alone give me an ear. But if I told her she couldn't see her friends for 2 days, she would leap tall buildings. Something like that, but you get the idea. Her motivating factor was social. So find what motivates you and try to work that into your routine. Let's see what Webster has to say about motivation. A driving force, stimulates or influence, incentive, drive. From the thesaurus, spark, incentive, and yeast. Now, I would never have thought of the word yeast in this context, but think about it. Why do we use yeast? Because it makes something rise. So, can you think of something that makes your spirits rise? Quote for motivation. Motivation will almost always beat mere talent. Think of someone who's just naturally athletic or has a natural gift, we sometimes call it, for music. Even how deep those natural things may be, they aren't likely to get on a major sports team or a large orchestra if they don't also put some work into it. I want to end with 2 quotes from my favorite go-to book, which, as you may recall, is 100 Ways to Keep Your Soul Alive by Frederick and Marianne Broussard. First one, number 6, Seek the Sacred in the Ordinary. Taken from a book by Abraham H. Maslow, Religions, Values, and Peak Experiences. Quote, the great lesson from the true mystics is that the sacred is in the ordinary. It is to be found in one's daily life, in one's neighborhood, friends and family, or in one's backyard. End of quote. And I will add, or on the green belt. Then there's this one about awe. It says, it's number 50, Live in Awe. This is taken from the book, The Wisdom of Herschel by Abraham Joshua Herschel. There we go. Quote, awe enables us to perceive in the world imitations of the divine, to sense in small things the beginning of infinite significance, to sense the ultimate in common and simple, to feel the rush of passing, the stillness of the eternal. I'm going to read that again. Awe enables us to perceive in the world imitations of the divine, to sense in small things the beginning of infinite significance, to sense the ultimate in common and simple, to feel the rush of the passing, the stillness of the eternal. I'm going to leave it there for now, but just remember, it's always time to re-motivate. It's always time to regenerate. It is always now.